You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Cowboy.
Good morning, everybody. We've been talking about 8 seconds.
It's a really good movie. It
Yeah,
probably came out in the, I'm going to say it came out in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s. And it's a cowboy movie about a bull rider, a real life bull rider, and who actually was from Vernon, and was killed. Actually was killed in a bull ride. Yeah, he got bucked off a bull in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And he was trying to go away from the bull, and the bull gored him and got him in the back and killed him. Jeez. And Luke Perry, of all people, played it, and I thought, oh, yeah, so it's going to be Beverly Hills 90210? No, it really wasn't. He did a great job. And then when you see a picture after the movie, you show a picture of Luke Perry in it, and there's a very strong resemblance. So basically, I think the casting directors did a great job. They went out and said, okay, well, let's find us an actor who's a good actor. You know, that's the thing we talk about sometimes. I know we're getting off the subject already, but we talk about this. Sometimes people you say, well, that person's an asshole. They're not really an asshole. They're playing a character because that's what it was.
Well, but some actors end up playing the same kind of character,
you
an evil character, or whatever.
Casting type thing.
But oh well. Anyway, this is Get It Right Texoma. We got the trio. That's Trey right here. I'm Terry, and of course we have Mike always with us. But anyway, we're always here. Go live every Friday morning. I say always every Friday, 7:30
on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
And this morning's guest is Tim Short. Mayor Tim Short.
He'll be here.
And there's something big to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and he's his famous line is "I love this city." So we're gonna get after it here, and please comment and share, and let's get into it. This is Get It Right Texoma. So where are we starting here? As always,
local restaurant focus, Ronnie's Burgers. A mainstay of great burgers in Wichita Falls. And Ronnie's has been around. I don't know how many years Ronnie's has been around. It's been a long time.
I got tech.
Click on
there
it.
we go.
There we go. So, anyhow, Ronnie's Burgers, look at that. I mean,
they're
good. Just so amazing looking right there. But they've been around a long time. Great people, great local business. The food is phenomenal. I mean, I've never had anything bad there, but the cool thing about it is it's basic. It's a burger joint.
Yeah. Oh, but the thing is, though, their menu's got all the different sizes. Got what, 3 different sizes?
Right. Oh, yeah. Their menu is bigger than it is, but they don't make. What I'm saying is they don't make sushi and hard-boiled eggs.
No. They specialize.
They specialize on burgers, sandwiches, fries, that sort of stuff. I mean,
they have tacos. But I mean,
it's pretty.
Lucy loves the tacos, but I mean, it all mixes and goes together well.
Yeah.
The French fries
are handheld. In other words, it's not a fine dining establishment. You're not going to go in there with linens and that sort of thing. You don't have a waiter that comes
table
up
service.
To you. No, you go up to the counter, you place an order. They give you a
blue
number.
collar, it's jeans, it's I mean, it's
But I tell you, it's a place where so many people go. I don't remember the last time I went in there and didn't see somebody I knew.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in
It's kind of a community collection point where
it really is. It's on Southwest Parkway, so it's kind of really the
Midwestern.
I'm sorry,
down on near Jacksboro
Highway and Midwestern. Yeah, it's kind of the hub of where a lot of things happen over there. It's real close to Kemp and all that. But great people, great food.
Worth the trip.
Onion rings are phenomenal.
Yeah, the onion rings are really good. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And they have a beanie burger. If you like beanie burgers.
I have yet to have one.
Oh, you got to have a beanie burger. You got to try it. You got to try a beanie burger once in your life. Beanie burgers was, I don't know if it was an invention of Stanley's restaurant that was here, Stanley Hill Burgers, but he made it famous in Wichita Falls.
Right.
The Hills are gone. Stanley's is no longer, Stanley and Joan, his wife, are dead. And they make a beanie burger, and it is a phenomenal beanie burger.
Okay, well.
Beanie burger is basically a Frito pie on a hamburger.
Frito pie on a, okay.
Basically what it is, yeah.
To check that out sometime. But yes, so go see him. Tell him where you saw it.
That's right.
Or if you were reminded about it, if you hadn't been there in a while. Because a lot of you are going to go, know about it already. But if you hadn't heard about it or you hadn't been there in a while and you decide to go.
Or looking at this picture makes your mouth water, you got to go get a Ronnie's burger.
There you go. So, but anyway, tell him Terry and Trey sent you from the Get It Right Texoma.
Yeah, they won't give you a discount or
No,
anything like that.
it won't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just if you might,
But we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, there we go. So, all right. So, what do we got? Oh, well, what do you got next? There is that. Oh, let me say this before you get.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, you see this big thick book here, and it says Apple, the first 50 years. David Pogue, the writer, big tech writer for years. Anyway, I bought 2 of these, and I'm not normally a physical book person anymore. I don't need them, but this, to me, it's well built, it's well made, and it's got a lot of nice color photos. And yes, you can get the PDF or the the ebook version, Kindle version or whatever. And I'm sure even Apple Books and all that. But I just, anyway, it's cool especially if you're an Apple fan. Go ahead and pick that up. It's less than $50 if you catch it on sale. Most of them are on sale or whatever.
And here's the thing, though. What I think is interesting is you don't even need to be an Apple fan.
Oh,
it's kind of like a documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to and watch documentaries all the time of things that I'm not necessarily interested in because you find out the story behind it.
Right.
And Apple's such a huge American success story.
Yep.
That do they have an ebook of that?
Oh, yeah. There is. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Audio version. I will get the audio version of that.
Right.
Not because, and I don't have an Apple. I don't have.
Oh, yeah.
I've bought it now. I bought a bunch of Apple stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've spent a ton of money.
iPhones and
I've spent a ton of money, but I don't personally. But it's not because it's Apple. If there was a Microsoft one, I'm sure you would be interested in reading it.
Yeah.
Because it's an American success story.
Yep.
Nobody's ever done anything like this in the world.
Right.
And the backstory behind it is so interesting.
Right. Well, they officially went into business on April 1st of 1976. So hence the 50 years.
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day, yep. And they
my grandson's birthday.
Yeah. Now some people say because they started selling the first Apple One for $666. So some people, that's the devil,
the devil.
But I will tell you, there are tons of Macs in churches that do Pro Presenter and put all the words on the screen and everything. So I think that it is just I don't know. I forget the reasoning why they did that, but it doesn't have anything. They claim it doesn't have anything to do with the devil, but it's the two Steves.
I'm sure they did, and I think it was just probably some stupid oversight.
April 1st.
Well, by the way, they were super ultra nerds. They probably didn't even have a thought about it when they were doing it. Oh, this sounds cool. This sounds interesting. I'll do $656.
But anyway, so there's a lot of history here. Apple literally has changed the world in so many ways. You can't deny it. And you can get into the weeds and talk about how Apple and Android and they can do better at this.
That's missing the point of the book.
Right, absolutely.
The point of the book is
it's a historical documentation of 50 years of a company that's
been up and down.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's so interesting. It's not like Apple's been steady like this. It's been up, down. It's been almost out of business, back in business.
Right.
The CEO's fired. The CEO's brought back. Yeah. There's so many interesting nuances that have nothing to do with the Apple.
Right.
It has to do with the company itself, just the company side of it. So,
check it out, and then we'll go from there.
Well, what's up next is the Red River Beer and Wine Festival. That is tomorrow. Is today the 20th? Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a big event. It's held at the Jazz Bridwell Center, and it's beer, wine, and spirits, actually. Now, so it started out as a wine festival at one time, and now it has a little bit of everything. And go get your tickets. This is a fun event, whether you're a drinker or not. Even if you're not a drinker, I'm not. I don't drink anything. But I've gone, I don't know how many times, because I see people I know all over the place.
Right.
And usually a driver. I'm usually driving somebody. Yep. So by the way, that's another thing. If you're not a drinker, be somebody's designated driver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, getting behind the wheel when you're schnockered these days is just really dumb. It always was dumb, but it's just not a smart thing. You can hurt somebody, but my point is, if you want to just go and enjoy yourself and walk around and see all the pageantry and all that, and then see people I love going to wineries and breweries and distilleries. I've been to all kinds of stuff. I don't drink it, but I like I'm so fascinated by the story.
Science in it.
Well, it's not just the science, but the story behind.
Right.
Oh, this, Oak Barrel Cellars. Why is it called Oak Barrel Cellars? Well, and there's always a story why we call it Oak Barrel Cellars or something like that.
Right.
You know, my grandpappy used to make oak barrels, was a cooper back in Scotland or something silly, you know. So, yeah, Beer and Wine Festival. Check it out, Jansport Center. You can get tickets probably ahead of time, but you could probably get them at the door, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, cool.
And then Riverbend Nature Center is going to have their, speaking of alcohol, this is like an all-alcohol thing here.
Yeah, there we
go. The Sippin Science series. And this is, they do serve alcohol. That's why it's called Sippin Science.
Adults.
Yeah, it's adult only, yeah. And this, my wife and I did one of these, and it was the history of beer. And once again, neither my wife and I are beer drinkers. Now, I did try a little bit. A lot of it was horrible, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
Right.
Some people really liked it there. But this one is native plants in practice. And so it's from 6:30 to 8:30 on March 27th. So that's next week. And it's presented by John Cooper, who I think is the groundskeeper at Midwestern State University. It's $20 for Riverbend members and $25 for non-members. This is a really interesting, if you're interested in native plants and how they work and what you could do and how they do in our environment, this is a great way to go learn because it's a pretty intimate setting. There's not a ton of people there.
Right.
You know, and people will start asking questions and you're free to ask questions. They'll usually have a PowerPoint type thing and go over that stuff. But it's just a really neat place. And it supports Riverbend Nature Center. Our friend Jenica Lambert and her crew over there do such a great job to bring nature into Wichita Falls.
Yep.
And so, you know,
experience that you know is unique to.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a unique, cool thing.
It really was fun. My wife and I had it was a cool night out. You know, we went and we learned a little bit about the history of beer and that sort of stuff. But it was and just sat around with a bunch of people, you know, all adults. So you're not worried about little shitheads running around and stuff like that. No, so it's just a neat night out, and especially if you enjoy native plants.
Yeah.
In Texas, which, by the way, super important in our ecology. Yeah. If we didn't have the native plants that we have, our ecology would not be what it is.
No. Oh, and we got the blue bonnet being apparently right there.
Yes.
So, all right.
By the way, there's a drive, and I should remember the name of the loop, and I don't. It's down by Kerrville in Fredericksburg. Look it up if you ever want to go see native plants in full glory. It is probably one of the most phenomenal places I've ever seen native plants. And it's a little old loop road, and there's a couple of little ghost towns that are there. So the road is not well traveled, and the highway didn't go through there anymore. It's well enough traveled. I mean, it's a decent road. It's a farm to market road, but it's just phenomenal. And all the native wildflowers and stuff like that. It's kind of like a reserve that's not a reserve.
Just happened to be
there. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So what do we got next here?
Well, we got Iran. You heard of that?
Yeah, maybe I heard a little bit about Iran.
So, just an update. The president and the Secretary of War has said over and over that this will be finished. Yeah. That this is not going to be a protracted war, that the United States is going to finish this. And I'm always of the mind, and I've always been this way, and it doesn't matter who's in the White House. When it comes to us going to an engagement of some sort, I always give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Because they have a lot more information than we
do. A lot more. Please understand, they have a lot more information than you have. You have an opinion based on a very small, narrow piece of information. They've got thousands of times more information than you do. Yep. There's a reason why we did that. And, of course, they're having hearings. They had a hearing the other day with the intelligence community, and it was like, was it an imminent threat? Intimate threat? Was it imminent threat? Was it okay? What's an imminent threat? If somebody is down the street from you, and they say, "Hey Terry, you walk down my street, I'm going to beat the shit out of you," right? Yeah. And then you do it, but they don't do it. But then they say, "Hey, I'm going to beat you." At some point, they may do it. So do you wait till they beat the shit out of you before you do something about it? No, you don't. and that's kind of how Iran is. Iran has been responsible for the death of thousands of Americans. That's undeniable.
Yeah.
With either them directly or their proxies. That's undeniable. Okay? They took people hostages in 1979, held them for over a year. That's undeniable.
Absolutely.
They have a nuclear program, and to whatever state it is, they have a nuclear program where they're trying to weaponize nukes. That's undeniable. Yep. There's so many of these things that are undeniable, and then there's a lot of connective issues in there to where the people who know are in the know. They say this. Okay, now I think it's time to go take care of business. And by the way, Donald Trump has been talking about this since the 80s. They're running clips of him in the 80s. He talks about Carg Island. I'd never heard of Carg Island. Had you? Nope. He talks about Carg Island in the 80s or 90s. I would blow up Carg Island. So this is not new. And this needs to be, I'm in favor of it being done. Now, I'm not in favor of a huge ground invasion. No,
he's
an occupation.
He's committed not to anyway.
Right. I'm not in favor of a war that lasts years and years. But so what pisses me off is all these people who want to rush to a microphone and start screaming into it. The president promised to not have you do any forever wars on a war that's been going on for a very short period of time.
Right.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance to see. Now, if in 2 months, 6 months, we're still doing this, a year, that we need to, even before a year, we need to have a conversation.
Sure.
But right now, you got to give him just a little bit of leeway to try to get this figured out. But right now, we're bombing the living hell out of them.
Yeah.
And that's not a protracted war. And yes, right now, gas prices have gone up.
Yeah, well.
But they've been up for, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So, and by the way, leftists, Democrats, I didn't hear you bitching and moaning about gas prices when Joe Biden was in office, and gas prices were the highest they had been in decades and stuff like that, and they were sustained gas prices, and there wasn't anything you could point to.
Right.
And then you go into and you hear this. None of our allies like us over this. Well, they're signing up to go to the Straits of Hormuz and protect that.
Right.
And it seems to me like some of the Europeans are almost embarrassed that they kind of kept their toe out of this at first, and now they're like going, yeah, we're part of NATO.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about his statement here? It says, I'm not putting troops anywhere, Mr. Trump told a reporter who asked about using ground troops. And he said, if I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty. It's like, hey, why? Quit asking stupid questions.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's true. It's one of those things. So give the people in charge a chance to do something. Give them a shot. And if they're wrong, they're wrong. We'll find out about it. But while we're putting our people in harm's way, we have soldiers, we have American military that are in action. Don't start trying to second guess everything day of.
Right.
I mean, literally, I heard who is it? Hakeem Jeffries. Like the third day of the war, he starts screaming about a protracted, a never-ending war in 3 days. Really?
Yeah.
So just be consistent. That's what bothers me. It's called intellectually honest.
Yeah.
You've got to be intellectually honest, and that's the one thing I can say.
Well,
I call balls and strikes. I'm critical of Republicans. I'm critical to Democrats. I'm critical to anybody who's doing something wrong, and you got to call it down the middle. But when you go on there and if you put up with gas prices for years and years because you want us to go green, and that's okay, but then all of a sudden gas prices come down, and now we start bombing somebody who the administration feels like is an imminent threat, and the gas prices go up, you're screaming and hollering about gas prices.
Well, it'll be a short term. I mean, if everything goes, he's trying to destroy their military capability. That was actually what he talked about this, I guess, yesterday, saying that Israel has one objective. They want to clearly their focus is they don't want to be the target of a nuclear weapon. Right. I mean, that's just right over there. However, obviously we share that, but Trump said that he wants to destroy their Navy and their Army and everything else, just through ground and other ways, and they're doing that. I mean, they've already they command that the airspace and the sea right now. So all right,
we got a couple more things to go. Tim, you want to jump in on these, or do you want to wait till?
Yeah, come on, just come on.
You're good. Okay, that's fine. All right, he don't want to step in the politics. The politician don't want to step.
I don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah.
Well, we're
okay. Well, the next one is a partial government shutdown.
Okay.
So this is another I think this has become a very unpopular thing with the American public.
Yeah.
Is this partial shutdown. Long lines at TSA. You've got TSA people who haven't been paid. This is BS. And it's all because, once again, balls and strikes. The Democrats have done this. There's no reason for them to do this. Even their premise, they want to shut ICE down. ICE is already funded.
Yeah.
They're not hurting. Even if they're not hurting right now, it's not bothering ICE. What they're hurting is the TSA, the FEMA, the Coast Guard, the Secret Service, and then some CBP and ICE operations, but not the main part of it. And then also parts of the Treasury Department, the Agricultural Department, the Department of the Interior, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, the Justice Department, the Commerce Department, the Transportation Department. All those people have had some shutdowns because of this government shutdown.
Yeah.
This is so unpopular. I think what they need to do, look, Kristi Noem's gone. I think the Democrats, if they're smart, they'll use this as an off-ramp to go, okay, now we got the new guy coming in. Mark Wayne Mullen, will you negotiate some of the things that we want in good faith? And when he says yes, they go, whew, open it back up and let's get the heat off of us.
Yeah.
And by the way, I go back to, and I think John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana, has put this legislation forward, and I've said it for a million years. If the government shuts down at all, any part of the government, the executive branch and the legislative branch should shut down as well. No congressman should get paid, nobody in the House or the Senate, and none of their staff members should get paid. And I'm going to tell you, that would stop some of this politicization of these shutdowns, because right now, most of the people in Congress, they don't know any TSA workers. They don't really give a shit. It's not affecting their friends and family. But if all of a sudden it's affecting their staffers that they do care about, that they do know intimately, and they do know that these people have bills and have to make a mortgage, makes a difference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do we got next? Are we going to...
Up next, the Save America Act. This is another big one here. This is another thing that let's go through it real quick, just real briefly here, because we got a little bit of time. What the Save America Act, the tenets of it are: proof of citizenship is required to register to vote, and the documents could be a passport, a birth certificate, a military ID, a state issued ID, and basically, and by the way, you can get a state issued ID. I know in Texas, I don't know about the rest of the country, but I know in Texas for free. If you fill out a form that says, I can't afford $6.37. By the way, if you can't afford $6, I don't know that I want you voting. But I mean, how well of an informed voter are you? But you can fill out a state form that says, I can't afford the $15 or whatever it is, and they will give you a state issued ID. Yeah. Okay? So number one, that takes that off the table. Nationwide voter ID requirement to voters to show photo ID before casting a ballot. No shit. The fact of the matter is, I've always thought the voter registration cards were really stupid.
Yeah,
because I could get somebody's voter registration card and go, "Are you so and so?" Yeah, I'm so and so.
Yeah, it's just not proof of anything. Yeah.
You have to show an ID to do anything of importance in this country.
Yeah, you don't get federal benefits without proving who you are.
Can I go to Congress and go sit in on a congressional session without showing my ID? So they're going to run it for security? Nope, can't do it. But then what? But yet I can go. You think it's okay for me to go to the ballot box and just say, "Hey, yeah, I'm Joe Blow"?
No. Oh no.
It's stupid.
No.
And by the way, I've said this before. I don't care what states do at state races. If you or local races. If Portland, Oregon wants to say, okay, you've got to be a purple-haired transvestite to be on the city council, I could give a shit. Yeah. I don't have to go to Portland.
Right.
And just Portland people vote on it, and if they want purple-haired transvestites to be on their city council and exclusively, fine.
Well, or illegal.
Or illegal, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But when you get anything in your state, I could choose or not choose to go to your state. So if you want your state elections to be rigged and all that sort of stuff, I really don't care. But when it goes to federal,
Yeah.
Which means anybody who serves in the House or the Senate from your state and above, it needs to be a uniform election law, and there needs to be voter integrity.
Right.
Because now all of a sudden, what your House member does affects me.
Right. Well, and from a practical matter, though, so many elections. Now, I guess local like mayoral elections and things can be done at a different time period, right? Aren't they out of sync with the normal? No, they're always done. Okay.
Yeah.
I think there are some elections that are not necessarily.
But they used to. But no, it's gotten to where it's more.
So
there's May and November elections.
Right. So ultimately, though, they end up on the same ballot, I guess, is the whole thing. So from a practical matter, it makes it, and it's just stupid not to. I just anyway, even at the state level. But yeah, ultimately, we don't really care what the other states do, but. I get it.
Well, then number 3. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say federal Yeah. So some of the things that I think what I've read about it is that the concern is not so much. There's not as much pushback on the actual presenting. Yes, there's a lot of it, but there's a movement about like that when you go to get these IDs now to prove who you are and all of that, because you can't just. You have to get the IDs. They're saying you got to have a passport. Well, how do you get a passport? Well, you got to get a.
You could go to get a state. You can get a state ID. You don't have to have a passport to get a state ID.
No, there was something about getting. Basically, here's the deal. I know it has to do with this. Is that a woman? This is a thing. A woman has to prove sort of twice that their name has changed. They have to do it. They have to have the marriage certificate, whereas a man doesn't have to do that.
They don't have to do that on their. You don't have to take a marriage certificate down to go change your name. You can change your name anytime.
No. What I'm saying is that there are people who they've got their name is different and they want to maintain it, but yet they can't. They have to prove. There's some issues that women have to do.
That's a bullshit issue, Terry. That's not a realistic thing. If you that's not. You can if you're a woman and you get married.
Right.
I mean, this is all about married. So, how many married people are getting married at the 3 days before the election?
Well, right.
My point,
I understand
my point
that.
is you have time to do it, but you don't have to. To show your ID, your name is your name, and whatever is on that ID, it's a picture of you. Yes, we see that's you.
Right.
Your name is Emily Smith. That's Emily Smith. So when you change your ID, then you change your voter registration status at the same time. That's called a responsibility. If you want to change your name, and it doesn't have to be a woman who's married. If say tomorrow I want to be called Napoleon Dynamite, and I want to go change my name to Napoleon Dynamite, and I go down there and do that, then I need to be sure that I inform, because I made a change. I not only inform the state of Texas on the licensing, I inform my local municipality. That's my responsibility.
Right. Well, no, I know, and I'll have to get
I know, but I've heard all these, but these arguments are about that thin, right there. That's how much they hold up. Who is this going to affect? And tell me, show me a woman who was not available, who was not able to vote because she had gotten married.
Right.
I've not seen one instance of it. So anyhow, my point is, this is another one of those 80-20 or 85-15 things. Most people in America, polls show, most people in America are behind doing this. You show a voter ID when you go vote.
Right. Okay. Here's the gist of the issue. Just to clarify, millions of married women have changed their names, which means that their current names are different from the ones on their birth certificates. And so these women would be required to provide documentation about their name change or sign an affidavit to be able to vote. So I guess that's the thing, though. What did we go through with the Real ID is we had to show our birth certificate to get the ones with the Real ID on it. That was a thing that the state, but we've already gone through that.
I don't remember taking my birth certificate.
No, I don't either. But that was a thing.
Or signed an affidavit.
Well, right, but the affidavit, yes, and that's true.
They're leaving that one out.
Right.
It didn't say you must present a birth certificate and a urine sample and a note from your mother.
Right.
It says you do this or you sign an affidavit.
Right.
Let me see. Damn, that was hard. Boy, I don't know that I could have done that.
But that's what's out there. So I just
because it's bullshit.
So.
look, if people are against something, and if they start grasping for straws, they come up with these outlandish ideas. The fact is, we live in what's called a society.
Yeah.
And so we have to make rules that are for society.
Right.
That means we can't say, 95% of people believe this, 5% of people believe this. So we're gonna do our whole society around the 5%? No. It's your job to conform. I put it this way: I'm a big dude, right? When I fly in an airplane, when I fly coach, I buy 2 seats because I want to be more comfortable. And quite frankly, it's not really fair for Terry to have to sit right next to my big ass on an airplane and have to, I'm taking up part of his room. So I buy 2 seats. Yeah. That's called conforming. Yes. Do I have to buy 2 seats? No, I don't have to buy 2 seats. I could be right up against Terry the whole time and make him miserable, but that's not fair to you. We live in a society. You're not the fat ass, I am. It's my problem. Wow. So therefore you have to solve it. And that's the thing. If you are outside the norm, the average, the norm, and you have something that you need to accommodate, then it's your issue to accommodate, not everybody's issue to accommodate you. So, okay. Yeah. Tim Short.
Come on down. The next contestant.
8:01. Damn it! We're a minute behind.
Time.
He brought money.
Yeah, I'm working for tips.
All right.
He works for tips and tips alone, so be good to him.
I'm running for re-election, so I thought this was for me.
Oh no! Well, no, that's our leads group.
Just like a typical politician, he's always trying to steal somebody else's money.
Well, I had my hand out.
That's our donut money and our coffee money and everything for the meeting.
Yeah,
if you want to join our weekly meeting, you're more than
Well,
every Tuesday, 8:30.
He doesn't have enough meetings.
Yeah, I know.
Let's schedule another one.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even work the chair, man.
Well, you're not. You're not embarrassing yourself on video
good.
yet. You're off
Good.
the screen at the moment, so that's why.
Yeah, I prefer that's why I have the hard chair.
I'm trying not to run into you.
Oh no, I'm
There
fine.
you go.
Okay.
All right.
We're good.
Good
We're
mic position. All right, we're good to go.
We good?
And we are all three. There
we
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Wichita Falls Mayor Tim Short.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great this morning.
What's this Texas Tech stuff?
Anybody ever tell
going
you
on?
have TT on your
I
shirt?
do that all the time.
UTT? Okay.
No, he has TT on his shirt.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a proud Red Raider, and it makes it easier now that MSU's part of the system. It makes it easier. Sometimes I just drive up and down Taft just to see it.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as a proud Red
It makes
Raider?
me proud. You're looking at one.
No, I'm just
It makes
kidding.
me very proud.
It's a great school. And by the way, there's a Wichita Falls boy who's also a Red Raider who is probably going to be going to the NFL soon.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So,
Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez. Okay. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll recognize him.
And by the way, I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. The most unusual thing about Jacob Rodriguez, when he goes to the NFL, he still won't have as cool a job as his wife does.
Yeah, I know.
His wife flies Apache helicopters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the Army. Yeah. She's got a cooler job. So Emma is his wife, Emma Kurt, it was Kurt. She's going to have the coolest job of any NFL spouse, and he will have the coolest job of any military spouse.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Proud of both of them.
Absolutely. They're both good people,
that's
too.
Right.
Real good people.
Okay.
So, is there anything going on in Wichita Falls?
No, it'll be a very short segment. We are on fire, gentlemen.
In fuego.
So, since I was here last, I now bring you Summer League Collegiate Baseball, which is incredible. G League NBA Basketball that's going to be here, which is incredible.
Where is it going to be held?
At the Impact.
Impact?
Yeah. It's like they set up when they set up for the Globetrotters down there.
Yeah.
So
where's the baseball going to be played?
At the
Hopkins
Impact.
Field.
No,
Yeah. They're going to play at Hoskins Field.
They're not going to play indoors?
Woodbat.
Now, where is this field? I guess that's
Hoskins
not a name.
Field is out by the stadium.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
right there. Okay,
behind
gotcha.
Memorial
Okay,
Stadium
gotcha.
over there. So
It's a nice facility, by the way.
Okay.
I spent years of my life there. So it's a wonderful place in Woodbat Collegiate League that'll start in end of May, I believe, and then they'll have playoffs in July and August. It's going to be so much fun. So and they're the Spudders. So we're figuring out ways to pay homage to the Spudders.
Yeah,
there
Wichita
are
Falls
still
Spudders.
folks here who have relatives that played, who have great connections to them. So although I'm in charge of none of it, For some reason, I'm trying to organize that to where we can have some of those folks throwing out first pitches.
I think that would be awesome.
And really bring that home. So Amazon is open and running, and all the arguments, all the conversations that we had, 400 jobs. People said it wouldn't be 100 jobs. It would all be automated. We just toured it last week. There's 400 jobs. They're not automated. There's people everywhere, and they're hiring 50 more and looking to expand their 76,000 feet. So they're filling 52,000 orders a day here.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, and by the way, your delivery, if you're an Amazon customer, your delivery times have greatly increased.
Oh, yeah. Well, all the white, you've seen a bunch of white vans running around with it says delivery driver or something like that on them.
You have those, but then also there's Amazon vans as well,
but
the
I think
ones with
those
the
are
round headlights.
Right.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So let's see, Amazon Art Walk is back.
That's what I wanted.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Promises
that.
made, promises kept. So the
we're gonna have a banner.
I know.
Mission accomplished.
Mission
Wait,
accomplished.
don't do that.
It went. Art Walk is back, and we have a wonderful partner in Potentia Projects who is taking this over.
By the way, they're going to be on. I've already been in contact with Alicia.
Good.
I don't know Ish, but I know Alicia, his wife.
Yeah.
She works for the chamber. Alicia Duran for the chamber.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I've been in contact with her. I'm trying to get her scheduled. In fact, I don't think I've got her scheduled yet, but she's looking at her calendar. He's gonna be on.
Ishmael's great, and they're extremely organized. They run Loco for Cinco. They've been doing events and things downtown. They checked all the boxes. We needed a defined perimeter so the event could be insured.
Where is the defined perimeter going to be?
You had to ask. You had to ask. It's Big Blue down to like 7th Street. It's online. It's on their website, Art Walk Wichita Falls.
But is it going to be? Is it going to be on the other side? Is it going to be on Scott?
North side. On the north side of Scott over.
So it won't be on Scott.
Right.
There won't be anything on the south side of Scott. It'll just be the north side of Scott and over.
Right. Yep. Now you can walk across the street, but the defined perimeters, and they'll have it that way. There are going to be sections specifically for artists, and they're going to bring in, I guess, for lack of someone who's not in the art world, guest artists, or they're going to have sections of it that are defined for that. They will have sections of it that are defined for everything else that folks are selling and making, and the food trucks, and it's still the first Thursday of the month, and it's opening on time, and it'll be the first Thursday in April. So
and it'll be a free event, right? People
free
just
event for
like it always has been.
Free event for the community, $5 for the vendors to set up down there.
So it's nominal.
The security is increased 5-fold. Don't do math on the radio. There'll be 10 police officers down there because the average attendance was 8,000 people. And we'd have 2 police officers down there. There'll be 10. There's going to be,
and they're actually not going to be Barney Fife. They're not going to have the bullet in their they're going to have the bullet in their gun, not in their
They're going to have people, volunteers who work for Potentia down there in shirts that are marked for the event that help people. They're spread out and they help people find what they're looking for. So it's very well organized. The trash security is taken care of. Trash will be all picked up and cleaned up after the event's over. So the business owners with big hearts that let people set up in front of their shops and do things, they were spending the whole next morning picking up trash when they got there. That'll all be taken care of. So we ask for a little grace and mercy when it begins. I'm sure there'll be a few hiccups, but they're working those out.
So that'll be the first one. Will be
it'll be 2nd.
April's.
Yeah,
oh wow!
First Thursday of April.
Okay, first Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to skip July. They're at least going to have 6 of them. July attendance was 1,000.
Yeah, so it was so low,
it's
so
terrific.
hot.
So they skipped that, and we've even made provisions for, depending on weather and how it goes, to even do it in November and December, which has never been done before.
Well, what I think is interesting, we had Sam Pack on about 3 weeks ago, and of course Sam and his wife were kind of the genesis of Art Walk.
Yeah,
and he had concerns, obviously, of was it going to be some commercial group out of somewhere that wasn't local? Right. And after this was announced, I texted Sam. I said, "Hey, sounds like we got a local person, and they're going to do the right thing." And he sounded very positive about. Yeah, I agree. So
yes, it's all good.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
there are so many good people here that want to do good things and that want to help, because that thing just blew up.
So let me ask you. So who's paying for all this?
4B.
So it's 4B.
Sales tax. Yeah.
So sales tax money that's paying for it, and there's a certain amount of money that they're going to pay. So this is not going to be. This is going to cost the city something to do it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not against. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, this is a huge quality of life thing. The response to this when it was going away and wasn't going to happen, which I totally understand. Downtown Wichita Falls board, great group. They had St. Patrick's Day was fantastic downtown. They did a great job. But as a volunteer board and running everything, it's just not possible to keep that up. So
it grew beyond the original.
Oh, it did,
Yeah.
and so
idea,
they set a really high bar that has to be met in a great standard that we'll try to do. But this is $25,000 an event. And the budget was all in the agenda. It was all online. It's all there. You can see what they presented.
No backroom deals.
No money under the table. You can see exactly what they're charging, exactly what they're paying, exactly what they're having to pay for insurance, having to pay for security, what you got to pay to pick the trash up. It's thousands of dollars as these go.
Now, who's paying? Who's picking up the trash? City employees, or are they paying people?
Yeah, they're paying people.
Well, tell us
probably a combination of both. We'll put out the roll-offs, and we'll put that.
Let me
out,
ask you: do they have to have two forms of ID, just like they do as
snow? Yeah, I know.
So the organization is how do you pronounce? It's actually Is it
Potentia
right.
Project.
Okay, so they're
and they have their website should be up.
They're
up Monday.
Yeah, well, I was looking. I was trying to find that, but either way. But the organization itself, though, are they a non-for-profit?
Potentia Projects is an LLC.
Okay,
it's part of there.
Okay, so all right. Well, but even then, whatever the structure is, if they're adding value, they're providing a value, and doing it a lot more efficiently, probably. But just because it's grown and that's what they do.
Because people are being paid.
Right.
The thing is, when you have volunteers, you get that fire in your belly, and you're really kicking ass for a while. But after about the fourth or fifth time that you're out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you got to be, and by the way, you got to be at your real job at 8, and you're out there picking up trash. It does take a lot of steam wind out of your sails.
Yeah, they have to set up all day. I mean, every once a month on that Thursday. It's I think they said it was 167 hours. Man hours to set the thing up and take it down. All the things that they have to do. So
I think $25K an event. It sounds like a really good deal considering the insurance and everything else.
So we are going to have to talk about 4A and 4B and these things. As to how these things work. So that's $25,000. 4B has given up to $200,000 because it's up to 8 events. It may not be 8 events, and then in that case, the money won't be spent. But
that's why it's a per event.
They're paying per event. But so why don't you spend $25,000 and fix that pothole? So why don't you spend $25 or $25,000
fix the schools
and fix the school, or give the sheriff a pay raise, or put do something, put in a Walmart or build a bank or something.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's not what it's for.
Yes.
Right.
This is not property tax money. This does not affect you in any way, shape, or form, except that every single thing that you buy and pay sales tax on, they get a quarter cent from.
Right.
But everybody who drives through town and stops and eats a meal or eats a Snicker bar, that sales tax goes into this, and that's what pays for these things, and that is all that it's supposed to pay for. Is events and quality
not only
of life.
Supposed to,
and
all can legally.
It is all it can do.
So we've explained government taxes for years and the government budgets for years, but the fact is, by law, there are certain things that have to go in certain buckets, and you cannot spend this bucket of money on anything else. Otherwise, you can go to jail.
Right, but it's also intended that the way that's structured and the reason that money is allocated in certain ways is so that you have a balance of things, that you take care of a lot. You can't take care of everything. There's no way how many things you need to get done on your house, or you're this, or because you're putting off, or your car has got this. You can't fix everything because there's a limit. It's usually called money.
And resources.
Best allocated in the most powerful way.
In 1997, the 1,200 cities in the state of Texas voted to each individually to have 4A and 4B, one or the other or both, sales tax to pay for their economic development. Wichita Falls citizens voted to have that.
Right.
that's the only way that they can stop having it, is if it gets on the ballot and they vote not to have it. But it's not free money, but it's money that's designated to do these certain things. Right.
And it can't be used to fill potholes.
No,
and it can't be used to anything. Yeah.
So, and on that point, so when I became mayor, the city street budget was $1 million. Last year's the budget was $2 million. This year it's $4 million.
Wow.
We're going into the next year's budget, and we're going to increase it again. So we're very aware of the streets and of the potholes and of the things. We have 2 pothole trucks. You reported on this. I'm a boomer. I hate to send people to a website. You call me, I'll report your pothole. But it's on the city website, and it's right there. Report a problem. They'll come out. They'll take a picture of it. They'll email it to you.
Can you still do it? Is there a city app that you can take a picture and then send it right from there?
It's all right there. So anybody driven in Frisco lately? Anybody driven in Abilene lately? Their streets are horrific. And
Especially
Frisco's the
Frisco.
fastest growing city in the state of Texas.
That's the reason their streets suck.
The streets are horrific. Abilene is awful. So those are just, Lubbock is not really good. These are the 3 I've been in lately. So it is so easy just to say fix the streets. It's $1 million for half a mile.
Right.
Yeah.
Of one side of it, not even doing the other lane, coming the other direction. So, there's been a lot of street repair that's gone on in the last couple years. So
real quick,
I'm a little sensitive.
Explain to everybody the difference between 4B and 4A.
Well, 4B can do everything that 4A can do, but 4A does more things like cash for jobs. So they're primary jobs.
Economic development.
Yes. Well, so Terry's has an opportunity to really expand, and he's going to spend $1 million in payroll over this next year in order to do that. He can go to 4A.
Moving on up.
And they can make an agreement with him to if you do have 20 jobs at $50,000 a year, that's $1 million. We'll pay you for that. But it doesn't get paid up front. You have to spend it. So, and at the end of the year, come back, you've got confidence that you're going to get paid back. So you go ahead with it. You come back at the end of the year, here's your 941s, here's everything, and you show, look, I spent $1 million on these employees. We pay you back. It didn't cost you. It ended up not costing you anything, but you had to prove what you did. The problem is that we pay for the sins of our fathers, and because we used to have to pay people to come here, and so they would pay in advance.
Mm-hmm. And then
the trucking company, the mattress company, the copter
Stanley
company,
Tools,
all of those things, they would give them the money,
and
they wouldn't perform. So the other thing is that we've clawed back from some of those people. I just saw it, and there's so many numbers in my head, but I want to say $400,000 this last year or more from some of those non-performing things that have moved on, that didn't do what they said and got the money. We got some of that money back, if not all of it.
I know the school district and the city both, because I was involved when I was on the board, a lawsuit against Stanley Tools. Yeah. On their expansion, we did an abatement, and the school district did the abatement, and the city did the abatement. On their expansion, they didn't finish it. They didn't do what they said. They left town, so we sued them.
Yeah.
Of course, Stanley's but Stanley, of course, is a company that's probably still around, but ultimately, but some of these, but you know what? There's risk in everything, and you do what you can to mitigate that
risk on those.
Exactly.
But in order, so that's 4A. 4B can do more, I hate to say concrete things, but they can help the Circle Trail. They can help with
more quality of life
issues, which is a pretty broad, thing.
It is pretty broad, but that's how I've always looked at it. And maybe it is too simplistic, but I'm pretty simple. Yeah. Is 4A is economic development, 4B is quality of life.
Yeah.
Well, to some degree.
They're all economic development things because like this Hamilton Park, the tennis center, right? So it's incredible. And it's huge, and it's enclosed now. It's going to be. They're starting on it, the Hamilton Park. Mm-hmm. So their profits have gone up like 200% this last year. They have so many tournaments, so many things, and it's going great. If it was covered and air conditioned, part of it, they showed that they would make X amount of money if they did it. So they raised private money, donations. It's a $5 million job. They raised $4 million. They came to 4B for the additional $1 million. Well, yeah. So now they have their $5 million. They go ahead with their construction, and then they can, become profitable. It helped pay for the new softball fields at the park out there, you know, the new, which is being used this weekend, the bathrooms, the turf, you know, all of that stuff. So that's all good. Didn't mean to get sidetracked on that, but
no,
it's so
it's important. It's very important.
And I explain it every day to somebody, you know, that certain money can only be used for certain things.
And by the way, you can't do anything about the school. You can't do anything about county.
No.
The sheriff's department has zero to do with the sheriff,
and
zero to do with the school district.
4B has also agreed. Now we're taking out certificate of obligations. We're taking on some debt. Per capita debt in Wichita Falls, Texas is $600. We're one of the lowest in the state of Texas. Average per capita debt is $2,400. So we're doing really well with our finances and with our money. We have money. We're not spending money that we don't have. We've paid off a lot of things. We've paid off the Castaway Cove. We've paid off all the renovations at the golf course, 4B money. All of these things have been paid off over the last several years, and there's two more big ones that don't pop into my head this morning that'll be paid off in 2028. So we're taking out a little bit of debt that will $26 million, and we're paying for the new police station and municipal court that goes at Kirby Junior High that we purchased. We're finishing the last 9/10 of a mile of the Circle Trail down along the lake there. We're finishing it. And restoring the falls. We're putting the falls back in the falls.
We're going to put
so that didn't come in.
Wichita Falls.
The whole job is around $50 million. Right. So it's like we have 50% of the money right now in cash that we can pay for. We're borrowing the rest of it. It's like making a 50% down payment on a truck, and then you finance the rest, and that's what we're doing.
We reckon we could drag Cinnamon up to come up with a new song to put the balls back in Wichita Falls.
So they're paying, they will pay $1.4 million a year, which is the same that they were paying on the golf course and Castaway Cove and those things. We just replaced it, but now we can have those things by 2028. And you know, that's incredible to be able to do that. So we're not, and it does not, it does not affect property taxes in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Okay. Well, on the falls, yes. I remember hearing $7 million, but I read in the paper that it's not 7.
You read in the what?
In the paper. Oh,
the what?
Okay. I didn't physically get a paper. I saw it online somewhere.
What's the paper?
Yeah. Or I saw it online. Let's say that.
Yeah. Up to worst case scenario.
Okay.
So,
because we got engineering all back now,
yes,
right?
And that's all been defined down. It's somewhere between 4 and 6.
Okay.
With a $2 million contingency to get it up to 6. So we expect it to be at 4.
Okay.
It's all depending as they take all that rock facade off as to
still
what they find with the foundation. They're seeing some pretty big cracks.
Okay.
But if those can be repaired, because it has to be done safely.
Right.
You can't be out there taking your Christmas card picture with your family and have the thing collapse on you.
Yeah, we're not talking about sending a couple guys out there with
that's probably not good recruiting for families.
No. For everybody who says, you know, I'd do it for $1 million, you can't. You know, or my concrete guy would do it for.
It's like dredging the lake. All these.
Right. These urban legends.
Can't do that. So it's an engineering, miracle. By the time that it's finished, the water will run more clear. It will not be clear. It will run more clear, and we will have the ability to control that.
So we won't be in the same situation in 30 years or whatever it is.
No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So if I'd let you finish it, it was a great question. We, when the falls went in '87, there was $0 ever put in any budget for maintenance. It will be maintained every year now.
Okay.
So there will be money along the way to help maintain the thing. So we're replacing all the pumps, all the electric.
Yeah.
All of those things have to be done. And about a half a mile of trail has to be widened. If you come out of that down there by the park, by the falls, where the trail runs into the fleet yard back there, they can't get a truck to the falls to maintain it or to take care of it, so they're widening that part of the trail so they can actually drive a truck on it and get down there to it. So.
For all the naysayers, and I don't know the answer to this.
Both of them.
Right, both. Okay. Yeah. So, what would it? Just curious. What if y'all decided as a city, or we decided as a city, to just say, you know what, it's not worth doing it. you still have to dismantle it. How much? Did that get floated at all? As far as just to get a rough estimate. I mean, it's not going to be free.
No.
So you're going to spend I don't know. Is $1 million too much to think?
It doesn't. No, it's a moot point.
No. I'm just curious, but not to say that's what we should do at all.
$300,000 to take down that old hotel.
Right.
So,
okay.
I don't know how many.
Okay.
Could be $100,000 or what it would
right.
be.
Okay. So
it
it's
wouldn't
not
be free.
No.
No.
It'd be significantly cheaper,
there would have to be some stability there, so the cemetery and everything.
Yeah. You don't want caskets.
Doesn't wash down.
Yeah. Okay.
But
But bottom line
is
is right. But it's a symbol of the city.
Yeah.
It has
our
historical significance. It's a part of quality of life.
Yes.
It's people take pictures and that. And all of that. So
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
At the end of our show, I want us to pull up on YouTube. Let's put the falls back in Wichita Falls. I want to show everybody needs to see that video.
Okay. Well, if we don't get copyright struck,
are you sure?
But,
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody needs to see it. Yeah.
okay. Well, we'll try it.
How did copyright struck? I don't think anybody owns it. It's owned by the city of Wichita Falls.
Was it?
Maybe.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it was owned by the city.
Okay. Well, I'll check it out.
So
We didn't data centers, anything else?
no,
on your
we're still
mind?
going. Yeah,
Okay.
we got.
No, hey, I'd like to hear about that. Yes.
Okay.
No, you think the nerd's not going to hear about the data centers?
I thought it was.
Oh no, I don't want to hear about data centers.
I tried to get the others in before Terry wanted to talk about them. So it's they're hoping out here. Skybox is a great partner. We've worked with them for a couple years on this. We didn't wake up Tuesday and decide to put in a data center. It's private money, no tax abatements, just like there weren't for Amazon or any of these things. There's no tax breaks, no tax abatements, no incentives.
Let me interrupt you, which
Nothing.
means they want to be here.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, because
picked
I
us.
guarantee you, they could go to other places and people would give them tax abatements.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead.
They picked us. So Skybox has been a great partner. We've had wonderful conversations with them over the last couple years about all the things that everybody wants to know about: the water, the land, the power. They're great community partners. If you look up Skybox, on the internet, there's locations. It shows in Houston, Austin, Santa Clara, several different locations come up where this is not their first one. They've built in Virginia, so they know they've been going since 2014. They know what they're doing. It's all the newest technology. Right. I live here too. My family drinks the water here. My family uses electricity here. I plan on being here for a long time, and so does my granddaughter's a year old. So anybody who thinks that I would do anything to harm this city doesn't know me. Right. So this is we've all heard it a million times. It's a closed loop system. You fill it up, like 20,000 gallons to fill it up. And then it runs and recirculates like your car radiator.
Which 20,000 gallons, is it like 2 swimming pools, 3 swimming pools? It's not. We're not talking about half the lake.
Right. So I wanted to compare it to a few things. So talk to the water folks and the engineers that know. When Arrowhead is full on an average, and it's full a lot. It's full a lot more than people say it is. 66 million gallons a day evaporate.
66. Yeah, going to the air.
Wow.
Going to the angels.
No, I know.
That's the average. So today it's at 86% or whatever. So it may be 20 million gallons a day. Just we're in the water selling business, and that's water that's just going into the atmosphere.
You need to get on the phone with the chief executive.
So Allred Prison, Vitro, Howmet, Sealed Air, all of those, we sell water, 200 million gallons a year they use. Nobody's complaining. No. Nobody talks about the water use at the prison. Nobody talks about what Howmet's using or any of those wonderful places.
Yeah.
Nobody says a thing, but they're concerned about the water usage here at the data center because of the way they used to be, and they used to use millions of gallons a day. But that doesn't happen anymore. So we've answered those questions.
By the way, that couldn't have been economically feasible for them.
No,
because they had to buy that water. They don't get it for free.
Yeah. So in all contracts, they're either through the state and through with us. The city comes first, so they can be turned off the city will always come first. If we have another big freeze or we have that, the city gets the power. They have over 30 days of backup power out there, so they flip a switch and they run fine.
And it ain't gonna freeze here for 30 days.
No. So we don't have to worry about that part. Now, electric rates across America are up almost 30%.
Yeah.
Without anything. Electric rate, mine went up this last year. There was no data center here. There was nothing to blame it on. There was nothing here to do that. So they will have their own substation. They will run on some on renewable energy. And I don't know how this part works necessarily, but they also pay back for their carbon footprint, which,
it's a voluntary thing.
There you go. They also invest in that as well, and do what they can to pull from solar and every other way that they can. But ERCOT, it's regulated. This is extremely regulated, especially in Texas, because we all were here and we know what happens to the grid.
Right.
So,
and the demand, though, in our area, we are have the ability to provide a lot more electricity than what we're even using.
We're over capacity. You're about to say we're over capacity.
Right.
We've talked about it.
Right.
We're a cul-de-sac basically for, I'm not an engineer. So of the electricity that we can use every day that's sent here, we don't use 40% of it.
Right.
And it just turns around, and for a good illustration, and heads back to Dallas. So, and they use it.
Right.
So we have additional power. We have surplus power.
Right. We have surplus capacity. And that's when it gets expensive. It's during the February storm back in a few years ago, and that it's a minute or every 15 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly. There's a market out there that if the demand goes up, we start having to pull power from other sources, and that's when the price goes to $10,000 a kilowatt hour or whatever.
And it
we are not
ridiculous.
even So we know there's going to be needs and growth just on we're using more stuff,
So
that needs power.
Great examples, and we think about when they have this is several million square feet when they're finished, 5 to 7 years of building. 10 buildings will be out there on the 225 acres. So they will use the water of I'm back on water, of an average of 50 households, 40 to 50 households, let's just say 50 in Wichita Falls. Okay. Last year, it was either last year or the year before, there were 76 new homes that were built here in Wichita Falls. So 76 additional customers for water and power here in Wichita Falls. Nobody got upset. Oh. Nobody wondered about the power and water that those 76 homes were going to use. Right. So everybody just needs to take a deep breath. There are concerns. I understand. Sure. There is no emissions. They're not dumping chemicals into the water. None of that. All of this is extremely well regulated, and they're in our business park. Right. They're it is.
It's isolated.
They're not putting it in the middle of your. They're not putting it in the middle of your neighborhood.
It's not on Maplewood. Right. It's not in Fountain Park. It's not on MLK. You can, and there's eyes on it because you can see the thing. Yeah. Then there's businesses all around it. They're extremely secure. They, at the press conference they set up to 1,000 permanent jobs. We think that it's more like 500, but a quarter of those are security jobs. So, and their salary range that they gave for every employee out there, from landscaping to janitorial to the IT engineers, $68,000 to $250,000. You can feed a family on that. You can you can buy a house. These are good, sustainable jobs. Right. And just like Amazon. Right. I actually had a conversation with somebody that said, it's 400 jobs, and and they're looking to hire 50 more, and they go, is that all? 400? Yeah. Is that all? Well, it's 400 more than we had yesterday.
If we grow,
point always, you grow it incrementally. You always
look
talk
at
about that
1,000 jobs, 1,000 people a year. If you 1%. Would be if we 1%, and that's a modest, super modest growth. Because what did Frisco grow? What did that was unsustainable. Number one. But during their big growth period, but they have a lot of problems with that growth. Well, we can manage this growth.
Oh, if we had 5,000 jobs show up in Wichita Falls today, we couldn't support it.
So we're about to.
Now, in one day,
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it'll be hard to support it.
But as far as the data center goes, though, ultimately, these are going to go somewhere. And again, I think it comes down to trust. Mm-hmm. That's what all the nearly every single negative comment about all of this has to do with, because the published, saying this is what we are saying we're going to do.
Yes.
We're being upfront about it. And then, but people, it's like, well, yeah, sure it is. Yeah, it's going to be $400 or however many jobs.
Right.
Oh yeah, whatever. But look at it, it's reality. Okay. It's going to happen. So y'all have agreed to do it. And yes, y'all are taking a risk. There's always a risk, but you're talking about some very well-funded, well thought out processes. Y'all aren't stupid, and you live here.
And you live here.
And so but the tax base is going to go how much? What are we go? We're going from right now.
$22 billion.
What do we are now?
$7
We're
billion.
We're $7 billion now, and we're going to triple that.
Yeah, we're adding $22 billion.
Oh, adding on top. So that's four.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, wow. But on the tax money, though, on that part of it, what is the plan right now as far as the taxes? Because clearly, sure, you could say you could just tax them 100%, not change anything, and that's going to be a huge windfall of money coming in. Now, whether it's temporary or not, that depends on whether they stay or not. Yeah. But that continuously goes. So what are we doing with the money? What's the plan, kind of the overall idea of cutting taxes or partially, to help? Okay, go ahead.
Plans being prepared. Because now we have some real numbers, so finance is working on it. And also bringing in a third party that has dealt with other cities that have done it. One of the big things was we are capturing the sales tax here right now of all the construction material. So they buy sheetrock in Fort Worth or nails in Austin. We're capturing the sales tax money here.
Okay.
So our sales tax is going to spike. We know that doesn't last long, but
it's nice to have it.
Other cities, millions of dollars. Other cities, don't forgot that part. So we did get that advice, and we are doing that. We're talking to the other places who have done it. It allows you to, lower property taxes even more. We've lowered them 4 out of the last 5 years, and probably going to lower them this year too.
Is this going to be more than
rate.
Right, I was going to say.
I don't have anything to do with the appraisal.
Yeah,
No, I know, but out of pocket though, or this potentially could literally lower, because based on that big number, the actual out of pocket could go. But I don't know what
But it may or may not.
So,
but if it doesn't, your house is worth more.
Yeah.
So look at it that way. That's the offset to it.
Yeah. So we are gonna get that. It allows you to be able to lower tax rates on homeowners and take the burden off them and have it where it should be.
Right.
And have enormous amounts of money for schools to build a fire station. We don't need a bond. You write a check to fix those streets, to fix that pothole, to have
the water infrastructure,
7 pothole trucks to complete the master plan on the water and it's not just doing 2 blocks on Taft. It's able to do them all. We're working on some of those right now, but to be able to upgrade and take care of our infrastructure, so we don't get to go have a party and you have to be extremely responsible with it. But we're planning that out now.
How is the city going to hold these guys accountable for their promises that they've made? How do y'all hold? How is that going to be?
They're deed restrictions. They're contractually obligated, to the things. So, to do what they say they're going to do, plus the history that they have.
Right.
Talk to the folks in Austin or Houston or where they have built these. I want to say Midlothian, and that doesn't sound right when I say that's where it is, but hey, were they good partners? Did they do what they say? Yeah, they're great. They built Lancaster. I don't remember if they bought fire trucks or built the fire station for them, but they're great community partners. They want to do more than sponsor the Little League team. They want to be really involved with the nonprofits and with the things here, and it's in significant ways. That change.
Well, partly why they came is because we have the excess in capacity on power. We have the land, we have the water, we have all of that stuff, and it's a back and forth to try to come to that agreement of how, because they could do a lot of this without even asking, and not even, they could just go in and do it.
Right.
Whether they, right? I mean, there's a certain amount that they do have to get permits and things like that, but they could do this without
It
cooperating.
could be a car dealership moving here and building out, and you'd have none of those agreements.
Yeah, the only thing you would have is
you know,
they have to follow the whatever the ordinances are.
including no public vote. You know,
Right.
people want to know why there's not a public vote. There's no public money involved in any of this. It's a private company that bought private land that is putting in a private business. So
it's called capitalism. Yeah.
So
the
Yes,
government doesn't
I know.
need to be involved in who can do what
That's
all
right.
the time.
how long have I been coming here? How long have we used the words data center? How long have we talked about these things? There's probably at least 2 more that are coming that the land sales have closed. One is operating solar. One is going to be natural gas. But and on the north side of town, these are all in our agendas. Every bit of it, and I think that I've discovered something for if for if anybody's still watching and listening. They say that 4B and 4A and these things are not transparent. They can't see them. Go to the agenda.
Go to the meeting.
Well, yeah, but if you can't, go to the agenda and keep scrolling. They're 200 pages long because all of the financials are in there, and all you have to do is scroll down, and you see the exact same pages that we see when we're sitting in 4B meeting, going over the financials, where the money was spent, what's the balance, what have you got, what are the projects that they're working on, what are the projects that they still owe on. It's right there.
Yeah.
It is available without a public records, request or anything. It's right there, and they can see everything that we see. But I think people don't scroll down past the 4-page agenda without realizing.
Well,
so it's publicly
that's called
available.
effort. That's called effort. By the way, if you're not going to put the effort in, don't bitch. But, Okay, so
or
we
have
need
$6.
Right, that's right.
It's free.
So we kind of need to wrap this up.
Right.
Here's one that I used for years, Tim, when I was a public servant, and I think it's a good one. And I'm going to say this applies to you. You've never said you're going to do something you didn't do that I know of, and you never did something and said, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
And I used to use that one all the time. It's like when somebody goes, why don't I go, okay, have I ever told you I'm going to do something and didn't follow through with it? Or have I ever told you I will not do this and then did it? And I don't think you fall into that category. So if you don't fall into that category, you have to give people grace, because it's like we talked about earlier before you even got here. It was really more about the Iran thing. We have to understand the people at a certain level know more than you do about this. They have more advisors. They get more information. And at some point, you have to trust your government. And unless your government is giving you a reason not to trust, unless Tim Short has gone out and said, I'm going to do this and doesn't do it, unless he's giving you a reason not to trust, why do you not trust?
Yeah. Thanks.
And well, that's how I am. Not trust. Now, you shit on me, then I'm not going to trust you anymore. But let's give these people grace, because once again, Tim lives here.
Yeah.
The city council lives here. They all live here, work here. Their families live here.
Yeah.
They don't get paid an enormous amount of money to do this. So it's one of those deals. So,
So I this morning, along that line, this morning I happened to see something from the city of Lubbock that they have announced a $2 million distribution center for Chick-fil-A. It's going in Lubbock. Incredible. I thought, let's see what people say about that. Oh, they just destroyed it. All the negative. Oh my gosh. Everybody's funny and says,
Facebook?
well,
Don't care.
it won't be open on Sunday, and all the Lord's chicken jokes and everything. $50 million distribution center that they're getting. Lubbock's doing fine, but to be able to get that. But so much negative. So
I think it's best to stay off social media.
It's reflex.
But it's best to just stay off of it. It doesn't matter, because if you're interested, step up.
Well, you want to educate. You want to educate. As much as possible.
But you want to some degree, but there's some people that are so damn stupid or so damn ignorant or don't care enough. You can't. You could show them the facts, and they're going to like, yeah, but I don't believe that.
Right, they're not right. They're just going to dismiss it out of hand, and hey, but it's a reality. It is an outlet. It is something you have to address it.
But you don't have to address it. You don't have to.
Well,
you don't have to. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I choose to.
You choose to.
I
You
choose
don't
to.
have to.
I choose
Well,
to come here
that's true.
and explain.
I agree, but you don't
I
have
choose
to.
No,
I choose
exactly.
to come
That-
here
that's
and help.
that's
I'm
true.
not saying it's a bad idea not to, but I'm saying you don't have to.
Right.
I say the same things here that I say, on social media.
Yeah,
as well, so.
consistency.
But,
yeah.
Because in the end, if you don't like it, run against me.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
All right.
the end, run against me. So, all
All
right.
right,
Winning
well,
hearts
good
and
deal. Well,
minds.
thank you.
You
Yeah,
go.
this one, there's a lot of things, a lot of good information
We
here.
always go long when you're here.
Right,
because we've got so
and
much
I
to
will
do.
say
Yeah.
we've got a couple people have made some comments on there,
Okay,
so
good.
we'll have to go read up. We
Okay.
couldn't do them.
Somebody was watching.
Tim Short is an what the heck?
That's family.
Yeah. Why's your wife on there?
Yeah. So all right. Well, good
Tim
deal.
did not take out the trash. It's, what the hell?
All right. Well, right now we have no guest for next week, but
No.
we're going to be back here at
Yeah, it'll
7:30.
just be us chickens
That's it. So anyway.
solving the world's problems.
All right. Well, anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for being
thank you.
here,
Thank you very
and
much.
we just tell your friends.
By the way, I'm going to announce this real quick because it's
okay.
going to come up.
Okay.
It'll be in May. We're going to have a special tribute. It's going to be around the time of Mike's last show, and I'm actually working on putting it together right now. And we're going to have a tribute show, and it's going to be videos, and most of it's going to feature on stuff of Mike. And we're gonna run it live. We're gonna be here he's gonna be on the big box. We're gonna be on the little box, and kind of talking about it and stuff like that. So that's gonna happen in May, right around the anniversary of his last show.
Fantastic.
And in fact, I've already cut his last sign off, and so with us, and then we're gonna cut the initial sign off, and so I'm working on that. So something to look forward to, and I think it'll be probably our best show.
Yeah, well, as he always did say, which you'll get to see in that case again. But I don't do it justice, but we're going to see you down the road.
Down the road.